Christ is risen. Happy Easter. In his column on April 7th in the New York Times, the columnist David Brooks wrote about the point, the usefulness of suffering. He says many people in our society really seem to believe that the point of human existence is the pursuit of happiness. Nothing wrong with being happy. The Easter season seems full of the signs of happiness, but what are we proclaiming? At Easter, we're talking about the good news of Jesus, and that good news goes way beyond happiness. The point of suffering, says David Brooks, citing the great 20th century theologian Paul Tillich, the point of suffering is that people who go through suffering, and we all do, it's not something that can be avoided. If anything, the passion and resurrection of Jesus shows us that it is not to be avoided, but entered through, as people in 12-step processes say. There is no way around suffering, struggle, addiction, death. There is, however, a way through it. That's what the cross is. That the point of suffering is to crash through, in Brooks's language, the floor of what we assumed defined us as human beings, to crash through that floor of what we assumed defined us, to find out that there is much more to us than we can imagine. I think that's not a bad way to think of the resurrection. Jesus Christ, by entering death itself, smashes through the time-bound particularities of what we assume defines us as human beings and what we assume defines human community, and shows us the vast abyss, as some of the saints put it, of God's love, God's deathless life. This Easter, I invite you to know, in perhaps ways you haven't before, the depths of God's love revealed to us in the death and resurrection of the Lord Jesus Christ. He is risen. It goes way beyond happiness and enters the realm of joy. Christ is risen.